no good son of mine. I was a lawyer. I took him out of the will.
Excuse me, sir. A messenger?
What do you want?
Well, Mrs. Delilah Buchanan has a message for her personal maid. I was supposed to give this to her.
Give it to me. Bo put her up to this.
What is it?
Here's a list of her clothes. Now, she wants us to pack them up and deliver them over to Bo's penthouse. She's living with him. My wife is shacking up with my son.
Now, wait a minute, Asa. Maybe she's staying at a hotel. Maybe she just wants her clothes sent over to the penthouse.
She's getting nothing. And boy, here's a message for Mrs. Asa Buchanan. She came to this house with nothing. She's leaving the same way. Now get.
Over there.
I'll burn them.
Why?
Why? Trying to humiliate me. I will not have the public laughing at me.
Yeah, just because she's staying at the penthouse doesn't mean she's sleeping with Bo.
Oh, boy, you're dumber than you look.
Oh, come on. He's got 3 or 4 bedrooms over there.
Fine. You know what we do? We send over Twyla and Euphemia. We'll make it a real snake pit.
What did you expect her to do? She was upset. She had to go someplace.
What am I supposed to do, forgive her? She abandons me for my son? I'm supposed to take that, nice, peaceful? No. I'm going to set on them like a pack of wolves. And when I'm finished with them, they're going to rue the day they ever laid eyes on each other.
How can you?
Well, you certainly can't, not when the banner's lead story is picked up across the country. Did you know we made page 1 in Texas? Houston? Oh, boy, when our friends in Texas read this, they are going to think the Buchanans have gone completely haywire.
Sweetheart, stop. Now look at me.
He's my father, honey. And who was it that yanked the covers off him and exposed him for the liar and the phony and the fraud that he really is? Me. I did it. Well, if this is what winning is, I don't want to have to deal with losing.
Darling, you have absolutely nothing to apologize for. Now, the facts were all there, attributed, backed up, and balanced. Your father made his own story, Clint. You simply accepted the responsibility, and rightly so, I might add, of reporting it.
I know.
Besides, it'll pass. These things always do in the newspaper business. You know that as well as I do. All right? Now, we've got plenty to keep us busy right here at the Banner. You know how overworked everyone is.
Okay. You know, I've been trying to figure out how to say this all morning, but... Well, nothing's going to be easy this morning, is it? All right. The word is out in newspaper circles that Clint Buchanan has lost the Chronicle.
Well, I would expect that. It's a very close-knit business.
Well, that phone call I got this morning before we left the house?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was Todd Huntington in New York City. You know the Huntington chain? He offered me a job. He wants me to come to work for him.
He doesn't have any papers in the Philadelphia area. You'd have to move...
Yes, honey, I'd have to move to New York City.
Oh. Well, I don't even know what to say about that. Are you really thinking of taking it?
Honey, you know as well as I do that there aren't that many major newspapers even left in this country. Now, I can't afford to pick and choose. I have to think about taking it.
Yes, I agree. You have to take all job offers seriously. But, sweetheart, you have a job here at the Banner with me for life if you want it.
Honey, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the way you have backed me up through this whole thing, but...
Well, then why New York? And what paper?
Well, that's what's kind of exciting about it. Now, the Huntington chain is starting a brand new paper in New York City. They're going to call it the New York Reformer. Now, they're putting millions into it. Millions. They feel that there's a whole middle-class group of readers out there between the chic papers and the tabloids, and that these readers want something with substance and class and style.
It's all the things you put into the Chronicle.
Yeah.
I can certainly understand why Todd would want you. Sweetheart, I mean, I hate to sound like a wife, but what is this going to do to us and to the boys?
Not a thing, honey. Not if I can help it. Besides, I haven't made up my mind yet.
Well, maybe you could... No, I guess you couldn't really commute to New York every day on newspaper hours, could you?
No, but we could get a place there. You could come up and see me, and I'll come home every weekend.
You're more than considering this seriously. You've been making plans.
Well, just how many chances do you think there are to start with a major newspaper from the ground up with all the latest equipment? Do you know they're going to have their own satellites to bring in overseas stories and pictures?
I think maybe you better tell me the truth. You just wouldn't be happy working here at the Banner with me, would you?
Happy isn't the right word for it.
Then what is?
Territory. It's a question of territory. The Banner's your paper. Now, the Chronicle was mine. And that made for a very happy marriage and a very good working relationship. But I just didn't have the brains and I didn't have the money to keep Asa Buchanan from getting a controlling interest in it.
But we've worked together before.
Yes, and now I feel like I'm an ashtray perched on the edge of your desk.
Oh, Clint, how could you? I mean, it's ridiculous. There's just no reason.
Go ahead, say it. Honey, say it. There is no use trying to bury it. It'll just come back later and kick us in the back of the head. Now, what is it?
I feel scared to death. I feel scared to death. That's how I feel. I don't want to be alone again like I was before you. And I don't want Kevin and Joey to lose the wonderful relationship that you three have. And I feel utterly miserable and selfish asking you to give up a chance like this for your family.
All these things you just said are the same things that have been going through my head ever since I got that phone call. But honey, being a husband to you and a father to Kevin and Joey are the greatest things that ever happened to me. But making my own mark in this world and my own success in my own way matters to me too, and it's tearing me apart.
I know. Well, just know that whatever you do, I'm sure it'll be right, and I'll support you.
Todd wanted me to call him by 2 o'clock. I think maybe I should get away and think about this by myself for a while. I love you.
Backward situation we got here with this paper.
What do you mean?
Well, how does Clint run this place without any of them VCRs all over the place?
You mean VDTs? Video display terminals? The computer screens that they run with?
Here, we got some of them here, right?
Right. They're just in another part of the building.
Well, I want them brought all in here if I'm going to run the show.
You're going to run the newspaper, Asa, with everything else you have to do? Where are you going to find the time?
Oh, time's the least of my problems. Always has been. I can run rings around 10 men half my age, but this here, I ain't ever done anything like this. Worry down there. Old Asa Buchanan's got everything controlled up here.
Well, it's good to hear, Mr. Buchanan, but that might be part of the problem. You see, I've never worked for a man in my life that I've admired more than your son, Clint. We all feel that, so 16 of your editors have signed this letter to him.
You can talk. What do they want?
We won't work here unless Clint Buchanan sits in the executive editor's chair, starting now.
Now, wait a minute. You can't do that. What about the afternoon edition? It's got to go to press in 3 hours.
Well, I guess there won't be an afternoon edition, will there? Unless, that is, Clint is brought back in here. I said, we'll walk out unless Clint Buchanan is reinstated as executive editor.
Now, you listen to me, you old fool. You get your tail down there to those four-eyed pencil pushers and get on it.
Asa, let me. I went over the labor contract earlier this
Oh,
morning.
what labor contracts? These yahoos got a union? I'm going to tell you what I think of union.
Miss Carly, could I make a point, please, if you don't mind, Asa? You're just going to get upset.
All right, you go ahead.
May I call you Rufus?
No.
All right. Miss Carly, I'm sure you're aware that a walkout like this without prior notice is a direct violation of the Journalists League labor contract and no strike clause.
This isn't a strike. It's more like a protest.
Oh, well, let me explain something to you, Miss Carly. Ever since the word's gotten out that Mr. Buchanan here is now running the Chronicle, I've been on the phone half the night with top journalists around the country.
You can't replace our people overnight. They're all too involved with Landview and with the Chronicle.
Well, then why do they want to let the Chronicle down by walking out? Times are hard, Mr. Cowley. The country's still in a recession. Do you have any children?
3. 2 in college.
I hope you have a large savings account. It's rough out there. Half the guys I talked to have been out of work for over a year. Now, you and your boys, you can walk out. But I feel sorry for you if you do.
Well, what the devil are we supposed to do then? Who's going to be running this paper? We deserve to know that.
Well, it hasn't been decided yet, but I tell you what you do, Rufus. Why don't you go back down to the city room, persuade the boys to hang in there for a few more days, and put out a paper we can be proud of, and we'll forget this little conversation, okay? And we'll forget about this little piece of paper. We'll just hope everybody can hang on to their jobs. Understood?
Yeah, understood.
You going to get the afternoon edition out for me, Rufus?
Yes, Mr. Buchanan, we'll get it done.
Side of the front page. I want you to leave them blank. I got a story going in there.
Mr. Buchanan, the front page, the makeup of the front page is very important. That's a decision we usually make with a full staff.
Record to date for the first day of fundraising. Well, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you will make that $5,000, I will not just match you dollar for dollar, I will double the amount. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dorian. That was just wonderful, wasn't it? I hope that all of you realize what you mean.
Well, my little boy here and I had some tall thinking to do, and this seemed like a good place to do it. Besides, I understand the piece is pretty good, and, well, we might do a little shopping for clothes, right?
When you go back to the ranch, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess you got a lot of time on your hands now that they're not running the newspaper anymore, huh?
Brad, if you've been taking smart mouth lessons from Asa Buchanan, you ought to go back to school. But take a message for him, will you? Give him a message from me. And if you want to take it as some personal advice for yourself, that's fine, too.
You giving out advice? You starting your own column in the Banner?
Listen, you tell Asa that this time he's bitten off more than he can chew. You see, I've handled a few oil deals myself, and I've run a few newspapers. Now, between the two of them, putting an oil deal together is a piece of cake. But to run a newspaper, a fellow's got to have two things. And he can't even spell either one of them.
What's that, a typewriter and an eraser?
No, it's a sense of integrity. And the ability to trust other people's instincts. And I don't care how much money he has, Brad, he can't afford a world-class screw-up like you. Especially since he's got a lot of pain left in store for him and few rewards.
Well, I'll give him the warning, Clint. Let me tell you something. That newspaper's going to surprise a lot of people in this town.
Oh, I don't doubt that. That's what I'm afraid of. Kev, let's go get some pizza.
Wow. Oh, boy. Mommy, look, your name.
Oh. Well. I didn't know I was going to be famous. How about that? Would you like to be famous too, huh?
Yep.
You will be if you're not careful. You know, sweetheart, I don't much like the idea of the children getting involved in all this nonsense.
It's Dorothy's breath.
That's the only reason we did it, honey, was to make you smile.
I'm sorry. I guess I just lost my sense of humor today. I've had a lot on my mind, and I think this silly competition was just at the bottom of the list. Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. It was a lovely surprise. Thank you so much, my boy. Thank you. It was lovely. I have something for you now. Bert, would you come in here, please? Thank you.
Well, you've had a lot on your mind. Business, personal business, but he and I had a terrific time.
Yes, Mrs. Buchanan.
Bert, would you mind taking this young man downstairs and showing him how the presses get started? They're about to roll, aren't they?
Not yet. We're lining up the classified and editorial, but the editorial will start this afternoon.
Okay.
Come on. Maybe I'll let you start them up.
Wow.
I thought you were doing deep thinking about your future.
Oh, well, I was doing that, but I took Kevin along with me. You know, it's surprising how sometimes listening to a child can help you get grown-up problems into perspective.
Well, did you... I'm afraid to ask.
You mean, did I make up my mind about that New York offer? Yes. My mind is made up. Frankly, Asa had a lot to do with my decision. I am staying right here with you and the boys and the band.
Oh, thank you. Boy, I never thought I'd be thanking Asa. What did he do? What did he do? Oh, my... What is he, insane? What does he think he's doing?
Well, what the man thinks he's doing and what he's doing are two different things. You see, this is his warped idea of seeing justice done. What he's really doing is taking all of journalism down to his level with that poison. Frankly, all of that is the number 2 reason why I'm staying here instead of going to New York. The number 1 reason is named Viki Buchanan. The woman to whom I'm very happy and very fortunate to be married.
Go.
Oh.
Well, did you see it all already, Kevin?
Well, we have a bit more to do, but this telegram came from Mrs. Buchanan.
Oh, I wonder what... Oh, you know what this is, isn't it?
I think that we are just about to find out who has been selected as Woman of the Year.
Just a minute, I have to go downstairs.
Wait a minute. You're not going to go see Briggs before you open the telegram, are you?
Well...
It's not an emergency, is it?
No. No, it's not. All right, okay. I know how much this means to the two of you.
Did you win, Mom? Huh?
The year.
How come?
I don't know, sweetheart. They didn't go into detail.
Well, who did win?
Don't know that either. I expect we'll see a press release about that pretty soon, though. Well, I tell you what we're going to do then. We're going to take this newspaper and we're going to hang it on the wall. Right next to the one that proclaimed Dewey the winner over Truman.
Oh, honey. I feel terrible about that now. Kevin and I jumped the gun, I guess, but I was so sure you were going to win.
Sweetheart, come on. It was a lovely gesture. Believe me, this piece of paper is worth an awful lot more to me than any old plaque, right?
You really don't care that you didn't win?
No, darling, I really don't care. I'm actually relieved. I told you what being Woman of the Year would entail. It means attending all those functions.
Well, Kevin, we are going to take this home and hang it on the wall anyway, aren't we? You know why? Because Mommy is still our favorite Woman of the Year every year, right?
You bet.
All right.
Oh. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. Oh.
Don't suppose Dorian won, do you?
I certainly hope Dorian won. She'll be absolutely unbearable if she didn't.
So, Lincoln.
Sorry, I realize this is an inconvenient time, but I was taking Kevin to a birthday party, and we really had to stop by and congratulate you.
Well, that's very gracious. Hello, Kevin. Aren't you going to say hello to me, Kevin?
What is that man doing to you, Grandma?
In the car on the way over here, Kevin was asking me about our relationship to you, and I explained to him that you had been married to his grandpa, and so I guess he assumed that...
Kevin, dear, I am your step-grandmother, and I'm feeling a bit tired. So this nice man is giving me a massage because it's going to make me feel better.
Give Dorian the flowers. Say congratulations, and we have to go.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Kevin. My. You're getting big, aren't you?
Well, we really do have to go now. He'll be late for his birthday party. Dorian, we'll see you tomorrow night at the banquet. All
Yes,
right?
indeed.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. By the way, Viki, I hope you know that if I had lost, there would be nobody that I would have wanted to lose to but you.
Of course. Thank you, and goodbye, Dorian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
Grandma.
Dear, I'm your step-grandmother. Better yet, just call me Dorian, all right? Dorian. Goodbye, Dorian. Say that. Oh.
Bye, Dorian.
Good boy. Goodbye.
Pat, will we see you tomorrow night at the banquet?
Oh, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
See you
You
then.
take care. Have a good time at that party, Kevin.
Goodbye.
Oh.